North-South Connection Podcast Network. We come to you with a breaking news bulletin, a flash of Dallas. Apparently, at 2:36 p.m., Keithie Langston has returned to the multiverse of fabulousness. He will be sworn in at his earliest convenience. Keithie, welcome back to the multiverse of fabulousness. It is hosted by yourself and Jonnie C., who is I.
I don't know how I'm supposed to react to that because you're bringing up a very dark moment in American history.
The
but
thing is,
I would
just
say
love that
like, should I do that solemn vow? Like,
yeah, the one where you have to act like you're not totally stoked to become the president right now.
Yeah, I'll just be like, well, I didn't really ask to have him shot, but whatever.
Right. I guess I'm gonna have to deal with the fact that it happened, but
Couldn't they have just had him get Marilyn Monroe and have him thrown out because of that? But
you know who could have saved President Kennedy?
God, Hulk Hogan?
No, I don't think he was old enough. Indiana Jones.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
So it is the July 2023 episode of the Multiverse of Fabulousness. We are available on video and audio. We're back to video this month, and I would definitely recommend it because it's time, Keith, for another tournament. We might not be in March, but I've also created another ridiculously childish PowerPoint presentation for you. Today, we're going to visit Earth Cinema, and the basic outline of the show is going to be this go around. So what I've done, Keithie, is I've created another tournament, Shades of March Fabulousness, but we've got 32 different pieces of cinematic art, or a movie to the layman. And each movie features a professional wrestler or a sports entertainer or an independent contractor. And what we're going to do today, Keith, is, the point of CinemaSlam is what we're calling it. CinemaSlam 2K23 to be followed by 2K24, unless this is the episode that finally gets me canceled. Basically, the idea is, out of these 32 films that feature a professional wrestler, the tournament bracket's not designed to narrow it down to which movie's the best, like from an artistic quality, which film brings the most to cinema and artistic history. It's just kind of, what would I want to watch right now, all things being equal? Because I think that's a little more fun. We're in the summer movie season. It's a hot day. You're going to stay inside with your buddies. Let's watch a movie together. But nobody can agree. So we got to narrow it down from these 32 choices. So if you're listening out there, just imagine yourself and another companion in a situation where you want to, let it kick in and watch a movie, but you have to decide which of the 32 movies you own that feature professional wrestlers you want to watch. Now, my PowerPoint presentation, Keithie, is not as fabulous as the March Fabulousness presentation was.
Okay.
I have a few CinemaSlam stats. All right. Not kind of like we did last time. It's just the CinemaSlam stats are basically just why the movie made the list, who the professional wrestler was, and maybe, we can talk about their performance if you want to. We don't have to, and we've got some repeats and whatnot.
Okay.
And you know what the best part of this is, Keith?
What?
Some of these movies just have a wrestler in it for like 5 seconds.
Nice.
So it runs the gauntlet. 32 teams. We have four Horsemen, baby. Woo! Russo.
Russo.
We have
nice.
4.
I like it. And actually, I have some thoughts on some of these possible movies because, as you know, my very dear, close personal, longtime friend Peter Winson, he oftentimes loves to talk about movies that have very random, like one wrestler in it for like 30 seconds, like I'm sure on the list you're going to have, and I'm not giving, all right, I won't give anything away, but he's a big fan of this, so I'm excited for this.
Absolutely. And it's just a fun little summer breezy exercise for the hell of it. And what I like is that I didn't select like the 32 best. You know what I mean? I just selected.
You just picked randomly, right?
Well, they had to tickle my fancy. So hopefully they tickle your fancy too.
Ooh, hey now.
All right. So the way we're going to do this, ladies and gentlemen of the listening audience, is that because we have 32 teams, we have 4 regions. We're going to work through each region, like the whole bracket in a region before we move on to the next bracket. So we'll have our first Final Four participant before we move on to the next bracket. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, works.
That way it saves us a little bit of time. So our first division is the box office bomb division. Now, all the seating was randomized, and this was the common theme amongst this bracket. So it's the box office bomb division. Now, the CinemaSlam visual representation should kick in now, and hopefully it's kicking in for you too.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, now look at this.
Keithie, you do see the match graphic.
Absolutely.
All right, so up first, 2 films that feature professional wrestlers battling out for would you really want to watch it right now? Black Adam, a very recent, I think it might be the most recent film on the list. So, of course, starring Dwayne Johnson, formerly known as The Rock, taking on Plan 9 from Outer Space, featuring Tor Johnson as that cop who's like, I'm gonna go get him, Jonnie. Now, I think that's ironically the oldest film on the list versus the most recent, and it's random seating according to CinemaSlam stats.
Yeah.
Have you seen both of these films?
See, I don't want to give away anything. I have not seen Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Okay.
I did see the movie that was based off of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
You've seen it's not on the list.
Ed Wood?
Ed.
Oh.
I took Plan 9 over Ed Wood. Sorry.
Because Ed Wood does have George the Animal Steel playing Tor.
Right.
I mean, I did see Black Adam. I almost want to take Plan 9 because it's referenced in Seinfeld. And as you know, I am a big Seinfeld fan. So, and I think it's probably just as cheesy as Black Adam was, if we're being honest here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Wonderful. Now, I forgot to mention, I've completed but just like March Fabulous, I completed my bracket. Keithie has not seen any of these, obviously.
Yes. No.
But Keith, I am recording your bracket selections off camera for you, okay?
Thank you. I just have to close my windows. It's starting to pour, and I can feel the wind coming into my house. So don't mind me, but go on ahead.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
I am the wind beneath your wind. You are the wind beneath mine. And I also multitask, so.
I took Plan 9 from Outer Space as well.
Nice.
I will say this. I famously reviewed Black Adam for the North-South Connection Podcast Network when it came out in October of 2022. I think I gave it a 3 or a 4. I would gladly watch Plan 9 because...
Out of 10 or out of 5?
Oh, out of 10. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm just making sure. I mean, listen, you are the DC mark, so...
Oh, I am. Well, good DC. I almost took my own life based on Hawkman's performance. It's one of the worst performances in a movie ever.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So I went with Plan 9 from Outer Space as well. All right, here we go. Let's... if you could move to CinemaSlam schematic, please. Can you move to CinemaSlam schematic? Okay, it's moving for me, fans. All right, kind of some random stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. You think Avengers was the first Endgame? You think You Know Me? No. Highlander Endgame, featuring Edge, Adam Copeland for about 2 seconds.
Yes.
Taking on the Bill Goldberg holiday spectacle that I just watched for the first time this holiday season, Santa's Sleigh. Now, just for all you folks out there who are uninitiated to Highlander, I don't know much, but I do know that Highlander Endgame is the movie where the dude from the TV show and my good buddy Christopher Lambert, the Highlander, combine forces and fight together, just like the Avengers.
Yes.
So what's going on here with the Endgame?
Seems to me like Marvel appropriated some already existing intellectual property here. So I feel like Christopher Lambert has a case to sue. Of course, you know, the original Highlander that had now for those who don't know, no, Highlander. Well, no, I just want to say, no, I'm not going to mention, I'm going to mention Sean Connery. He's not a professional wrestler.
Oh, okay.
But originally, the original Highlander, Christopher Lambert is supposed to be a Scottish, like, Highlander. That's the whole Highlander thing. And he hangs out with Sean Connery, who is playing a Spanish, like nobleman or something.
Ramirez.
And it's Sean Connery, no change to his accent, no change to his dialect, nothing. And there's that great scene when they're in the boat and he goes, "What is haggis? It's meat and barley stuffed in a sheep's belly, and you eat it? How revolting!" And it's like he's supposed to be Spanish, and he's talking like he's from freaking Glastonbury, Glastonbury,
Glasgow? Glasgow Kiss?
Yeah.
This is a wrestling podcast network, right?
Glasgow Kiss. Yeah. So this is a no-brainer for me. I have to go with Christmas Sleigh or Santa's Sleigh or whatever. Yeah. I mean, just that movie is it's beyond ridiculous. So, and Goldberg, actually, it's one of the few things I find Goldberg interesting in. So I think I'll take it.
The Thug Life, Goldberg. What's with that opening scene in Santa's Sleigh where like James Caan is in it and like a bunch of random celebrities? Like, how did they pull that off?
I mean, I think it's just because everybody knew. I feel like I feel like nowadays when they're making bad movies that are purposely bad, people jazz up to be in them because they know it's going to be something that's going to be like a huge talking point. And if it's even remotely interesting, it's going to get them a lot of generated press, and people will probably be like, oh, you know what, James Caan, we can put him in some other shit now too. R.I.P. But yeah.
So Plan 9 mentioned in Seinfeld. In Highlander Endgame, Edge wears a poofy shirt like the poofy shirt in Seinfeld. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that if you enjoyed Santa's Sleigh, check out 2022's Violent Night, available on, and I know you guys have Peacock because I don't know if you saw that, the like David Harbour.
I saw that in the theaters. I was very excited for that.
Yes, I enjoyed that quite a bit as well. All right, so I took Santa's Sleigh too.
Oh, good.
Keithie, we saw this in March Fabulousness. The Sophie's Choice. Here our third matchup. Keithie's choice. It's just it's a difficult choice. Can we move to Starcade Stenographer, please? Okay, it's moving.
Oh,
the face.
Yes.
All right. So, for anyone not watching, according to the Starcade Stenographer, it's not stenographer. What do they call it? The Starcade Spectrometer? No, that's how you.
Spectrometer. Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Statrometers.
Yeah, we've got for the box office bomb division, Suburban Commando, which stars Hulk Hogan for the entire movie. Give it up, Dragos. Give it up. Taking on Last Action Hero, which qualifies for starring Professor Tanaka, who was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as the butler guy. He's got the long goatee. I think he's also Sub-Zero, Plane Zero.
Yes. He's in Last Action Hero?
He is Charles Dance's like number 2.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, this isn't even a Sophie's Choice in my book.
Really? So you're not big... even. So okay, for Suburban Commando or Last Action Hero?
Come on, what do you think? There's only one person in my life that makes me tweak and twerk and whatever it is whenever I see this man come on the screen, and that is the one and only, the former governor.
Yes.
Schwarzenegger. I mean, it's funny too because I don't consider this to be a bad movie. This is almost ironically in the box office bomb category because it just was.
It was kind of a box office bomb. I mean, I too.
No, it was. It should absolutely not have been.
Agreed.
It's a phenomenal fucking movie. I love this movie.
Did you like it when you were a kid?
Oh,
I will admit. Okay, I
loved it as a kid. I loved it as a kid, and I loved it as an adult. I loved it as a kid because obviously I grew up in the era of Schwarzenegger when Schwarzenegger was at his height, and having seen everything else the guy did, it was kind of cool to see him in this movie where he's kind of playing and toying with who he really was, and I loved it. I loved it altogether. Plus, I love Charles Dance, and it's got Mary Abraham, and then who's the girl? It's
Bridget Wilson, Meredith Caprice.
Yeah, like she's so awesome.
Don't forget Austin O'Brien as Danny the Kid.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's got the fantastic scene where Arnold's like, to be or not to be, not to be,
not to be, and then and then also Tom Noonan.
Yes, that's correct. And
the voice of the cat.
Tina Turner, rest in peace. She's the mayor. She's the bad.
Yep.
And is there anything else we should mention from Last Action? It's just a great movie. If you haven't seen it for some reason, you should watch it. Suburban Commando, we should probably talk about just for a second because, I mean, it's a Hogan star. It was his second. It also has The Undertaker as well. Don't get me wrong, like I enjoy Suburban Commando for camp, but The Last Action Hero is also like 2 hours long, though. So I did go with action hero like you, but I had to think about it for various reasons.
I think Suburban Commando, yeah, it's very campy. The jokes are really bad. I almost feel like whoever wrote this movie, I feel like this was a kid who wrote this movie. Like
Yeah.
it was a child. It was a child writing a child's movie. But no, I mean it's not as awful as I think people give it. So, but it is. It's not good.
No,
I
it
mean,
can't beat Last Action Hero.
Hogan is not a box office star. He's not.
No. All right, so I've advanced yours. We're matching up on this one. All right, here we go. The final first round matchup in the box office bombs. 2002's Rollerball
Ooh.
taking
Oh,
on Corky
oh,
Romano.
oh
The
God.
Chris Kattan movie that
Oh,
I've never actually even seen. I think this is the only movie on in the tournament that I haven't seen, but I did watch the appropriate scene on the YouTubes. Corky Romano features a scene where Chris Kattan takes on Sable and a little guy. In some sort of a fight where she's in her brassiere because it's 1999 or 2000. Now, the remake of the James Caan film Rollerball features Chris Klein. Hey guys, you want to play some rollerball? But it also features an uncredited appearance from Shane McMahon, who's like, "Hey Kingfish, I'm gonna play some rollerball, baby." And it also features Paul Heyman as the rollerball commentator. Now, I will just put this out there on my own personal podcast feed, the new TNN. My 100th episode, Spectacular, was a retrospective on Rollerball because it's so bad it's good.
Okay. I will admit, I have actually never seen either of these two movies.
It's pretty forgivable, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I get that.
However, I've seen a lot of stuff that the characters from Rollerball have been in.
The characters, that's polite of you to call them that.
Well, because I mean, you have Jean Reno.
Oh yeah, Jean
You
Reno.
have LL Cool J, Rebecca Romaine, even Naveen Andrews, who was in Lost. I mean, that guy was awesome in Lost. He was what was his name in Lost? I can't even remember his name now.
I've never seen an episode of Lost.
Oh, Lost was a great show. I really wanted to kind of do a gag with you and like flip a coin for this, but I'm gonna actually go with I'll go with Rollerball because it does have Rebecca Romaine, Jean Reno, and LL Cool J in it. So, and
she's
can't.
really smart in it.
Yeah, I mean I can't for the life of me. The only thing I've ever seen from Corky Romano is you want to buy some cookies, which is in the trailer, and I just cannot get behind a Chris Kattan.
How many times did you see that trailer when he's like, "The reflex is an only child"?
I mean, 75 times a day. They literally promoted that movie so much it was
nonstop.
So I mean, the premise of that though is great. Like the mafia gets somebody to go undercover in the FBI. That actually would be a hell of a movie. If they made it into like a drama, I think that would be great, like kind of a reverse Donnie Brasco. I think they should do something like that, but
just not with Chris Kattan.
Not Chris Kattan. Not
well, we've probably talked about these more than they deserve, but I will say, last thing, Chris Klein's awful performance carries Rollerball alone. All right. So the Starcade the CinemaSlam spectrometer is going to stay frozen for a little bit, so we can look at Chris Klein. And if Rollerball sales spike, we deserve some money. So we have, Keithie, the exact same Final Four in this region. First matchup, Plan 9, Santa Sleigh. I think I know where this is going, considering you haven't seen Plan 9.
I think it's Santa Sleigh. Yeah, I think
Makes sense.
Santa Sleigh. Yeah.
And I'm assuming Last Action Hero over Rollerball.
Yes.
Yeah, I did the same because the campiness of Chris Klein can only carry it so far. So the final matchup in the box office bomb division, I had Plan 9 versus Last Action Hero. I took Last Action Hero. Keithie, what do you got?
I am going to go with Last Action Hero as well over Santa Sleigh.
All right, so we both have the same movie coming out of the box office bomb division to make it to Final Four in your house. All right.
Now you're just mixing up all your professional wrestling organizations.
Well, what's fun about this show is that it's the multiverse. It's like every planet rolled into one.
Absolutely.
Because there's some planet where Rollerball is actually played.
There is some planet where Jim Ross is still in WCW announcing an In Your House Final Four pay-per-view.
I saw some awesome clip on Twitter today of there was a clip of it was basically I can't believe JR got paid for this, and it was a clip from Fight Forever, and somebody won, and JR's like, this match was amazing. It's all time. It'll be spoken of for the rest of my life. Like that was literally it was so bad.
Yeah.
That game looks awful. All
so
right,
bad that he fell down and busted his face open.
All right. According to the Starcade, God damn it, the CinemaSlam spectrometer. We're moving to the division.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the movies that got put in the division didn't deserve it, but again, it was all randomized.
Sure.
All right. First matchup of according to the CinemaSlam spectrometer, Abraxas. Hey, I'm Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, starring Jesse the Body Ventura. Taking on Spectre. I don't even know the theme song. You know my name, you know mine. No, that's Casino Royale. What's the Spectre song?
I don't know if you know. Oh, isn't it? No, it's not. That's Skyfall. I think it was the one that
he's like Sam Smith.
Yeah, Sam Smith did, and I don't
the
really.
Writing's on the wall.
Yeah. I can't even get that high as his falsetto, but
it's definitely. I actually kind of like the Quantum of Solace song a little bit more than Spectre's song.
I actually really enjoy all the official songs of the Bond movies, of all the Bond movies. But yeah, no, I like that one. My favorite is probably. Well, of the new ones, my favorite is probably Skyfall. I mean, I think
it won an Oscar.
Yeah, I think everybody's favorite is probably Live and Let Die. I would imagine. You know, just because it was like nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better. Nobody does it better. I think Charted from The Spy Who Loves Me. What's the For Your Eyes On?
Oh, that was
Sheena Easton.
Yeah.
I don't like that movie, but I love the song. And, The Living Daylights or A View to a Kill, Duran Duran and Aha.
I'm telling you, man, we could probably do a bracket of Bond songs, and I wonder and I would be very hard to figure out which one's going to win. It would be really difficult because the Bond songs, the official Bond songs, are so friggin' good.
I even like the On Her Majesty's Secret Service Orchestra.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite Bond movie.
Unfortunately, I think the one I don't like I think the one I like the least is probably the. I think it's from On Your Majesty. It's the Louis Armstrong song.
Yeah. Wait, I probably shouldn't do that impression actually.
Well, it's
the time in the world.
For audio, I think it's okay. I mean, as long as you're
sure. All right, Spectre has Dave Bautista in it. We should probably mention.
Yeah, that's
in a kind of a forgettable henchman. I don't even think he says anything. And Spectre and Quantum of Solace usually fight it out for the worst of the Craigs. But the floor is yours. Abraxas. Have you seen Abraxas?
You know, I don't know if you know this, but
are you a finder?
Abraxas is one of those movies that Jesse Ventura did so that he could get his own insurance from this SGA, so he didn't have to have a union in the WWF or E. I mean, this is the movie that I believe he left WWF for in 1990 to go make.
The villain is played by Sven-Ole Thorsen from Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Also from The Running Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's in a lot of shit. Jesse has a ridiculous rat tail. It has terrible.
I have to go score some steroids.
Yes,
that was one line.
Okay, I've never heard anyone in my entire life do a Sven-Ole Thorsen impression, but I want you to do it all the time. It's so good.
I love that guy. That guy, I think he's like a personal friend too of like Schwarzenegger. Like I think he loves like him and Arnold like hang out.
Are you familiar with the 80s show Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future? He was Tank. Yeah. That was how I discovered subtitles. We talked about lawsuits earlier. I forget what it was because it's starting to kick in. Endgame and Avengers. But Abraxas and Secundus, his nemesis, are looking for the anti-life equation on Earth.
Oh my God.
All right. See, DC Comics ain't that big of a thing right now. Let's find the anti-life equation.
Oh my God.
It's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I took Abraxas, though, because it's a 90-minute cheese fest that you're going to have a lot of. Oh, Keith.
It's my cat.
Kind of getting turned on by that tail waving in your face.
It's my cat. He decided to jump up and say hello to Jonnie C. I'm gonna go with Abraxas as well, only because it's got Sven in it. I mean, how can I not? So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
He's your new guy. I just, and again, I was sort of using the rationalization of, what do you want to watch? I can't do the 2 hour and a half decent Bond movie.
I do like the opening sequence though in Mexico City for that Bond movie.
Yeah.
That's a great opening sequence, but I mean, yeah, I can understand why people say this is probably up there with. Although I don't hate Quantum of Solace, I just feel like Quantum of Solace just didn't really go anywhere.
Right. And it was very hard to live up to Casino Royale.
Absolutely.
I do like Léa Seydoux. She's also she's a Bond girl in No Time to Die as well.
Yeah, because she continues. Yeah. Spectre, No Time to Die is a direct sequel to Spectre. Whereas I feel like Skyfall kind of sits on its own. I feel like.
Yeah. Billie Eilish is.
The only thing is, the one thing I hated about, the one thing I loved most about Spectre, I would have loved to have replaced it in No Time to Die, and that's Christoph Waltz, because I hate Rami Malek. I hate him, and I just can't do it. No Time to Die, it pisses me off that he's even in it.
I like the first season of Mr. Robot. But I've never seen the others.
Listen, I know a lot of people who like him. I've never. There's certain actors that just irk me, and there is no real rhyme or reason. It's just I have a list, and believe me, I get a lot of shit for people on my list, and it's like certain actors irk me, and he's on that list, and it is what it is.
Speaking of the list, next round in the A division, these movies should not have been in this division, according to the CinemaSlam stats.
Oh, God damn you.
I know.
Are you kidding me? This is not one. This is a final.
I know it is. But it's randomization, Keith. It's the multiverse. For those not watching, Annabelle got the peanut taking on Dylan, you son of a bitch. Another Jesse Ventura, Predator versus the Princess Bride. How do you choose?
God, I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Actually, once I saw the bracket, I was like, how can you choose? And then I chose pretty quickly, but I hated having to choose between the two.
I ain't got time to bleed. I mean, it's I ain't got time to bleed versus I'm carrying 3 people and he only have himself. I have to go with Princess Bride. It's fucking Andre.
Yeah, I went with Princess Bride as well. It is a wrestling show. And I've seen Predator a lot.
Predator's amazing.
It is. Well, kind of slow.
He kicks into high gear once the alien starts killing everybody.
A lot of people in the last decade have been canceled. I think this is my moment. I kind of like Predator 2 just a little bit more. It's the urban setting in Los Angeles. He's in town with a few days to kill.
I will say that it actually seemed like it was much more of a fair matchup of the Predator versus Danny Glover at the end. Because, I mean, how does that guy just stand up against... my favorite part, though, in Predator is when he goes, what the fuck are you? And then at the end, the thing goes, what the fuck are you?
Yeah.
It's so good because it's like Schwarzenegger is so fucking awesome in that. I love the guy, what's his name, that plays like, is it Taunton, what's the guy that's the Native American there?
Billy? I don't know the gentleman's real name.
Oh, no, but it's Billy? I thought he had like a name like
no, it's Billy! Get back!
But I love when he takes the knife and he's like, he just like cuts his chest. I just love that. I go, why would he do that?
And then he just dies off camera instantly.
Just a fucking, and then of course, like Carl Weathers has like one of the greatest death scenes in any movie.
I will recommend. Did you watch? Did you watch Prey?
No, I have to. I actually might watch that.
Dude.
I gotta watch it because I'm a huge. It's funny. The only Predator aside from Prey, the only Predator I didn't see.
The Shane Black one, Predator.
I saw that.
You haven't seen the Adrian Brody one?
I did.
Predators. Yeah, it's all of them, isn't it? Oh, AVP. I
Maybe
haven't seen
AVP.
Requiem.
Yeah, I don't think I saw one of those. Because I'm like, Aliens is okay, but no, Predator's the shit, dude. I love that series. So
I mean,
yeah,
don't get me wrong. I like Predator. I grew up with Schwarzenegger. We talked about that earlier. Like, I'm not a mark for Predator. I watched Prey out of having nothing to do when it came out, and
sure.
I was blown away.
Is it on Netflix?
Hulu is who made it
Hulu? Oh,
because they
see,
have 20th Century.
the
All right,
thing
let me.
that's so the thing that stinks is that I'm going on I'm going to Italy. The reason why we're recording this today is because I'm actually traveling to Italy, and I'm trying to look for stuff to like download to watch on the flight. And not only that, I have a lengthy layover in Heathrow both ways. So I
Hmm.
was like, oh, maybe I'll watch. I can't watch Prey though because you can't save and download stuff from Hulu. So maybe I'll watch Prey while I'm sitting in the Heathrow airport.
You should watch the Rules of Attraction and be like, I took a plane to Heathrow. I took a connecting flight to Italy. I walked around and brought some ecstasy from Keithie Langston, and then I went down into a tunnel and got my ass kicked by Johnny C. But then I woke up because Johnny C could never kick anybody's ass, and I bought a whore.
I would much rather watch American History X, not
Then
American History X, American Psycho, which is his I
Bret
believe
Easton
it's his
Ellis.
cousin or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
a
good.
Rules of Attraction reference for anyone who's
Yeah,
uninitiated.
I'm a big fan of Rules of Engagement, but
God, I haven't seen Rules of Attraction in a
it was
long
a
time.
it was an odd movie, but it wasn't terrible.
It's
Oh,
got the
that's funny.
Dawson.
I got not to pull the curtain back, but the Red Sox are on right now,
Oh,
and
sure.
they had a rain delay for like 30 seconds, and they actually pulled the tarps out, and then they pulled the tarps back, and then Rafael Devers just hit a home run. It's like
Nice.
anyway.
Well,
Oh no, that was from earlier. Okay, that
The
was from
Reds,
earlier.
the Reds lost their streak over the weekend. That was
Mhm.
big news here in the city of Sin.
That's right.
All
All right.
right, so the next one
On the docket.
might not take long at all, and one of them was only in here as a gag.
Okay.
We've got Gem and the Holograms,
What the fuck?
which features credited archival footage of The Rock.
Okay.
He gets a credit for archival footage. I guess
Okay.
maybe Gem or one of said holograms is watching wrestling.
Okay.
And the other one you can't really see is Michael J. Fox's underrated 90s comedy gem available on Disney Plus, Life with Mikey,
Mm-hmm.
which features a scene where he takes the little girl he's with, well, not with, but the little girl he's a talent scout for, to a wrestling match. And Jerry the King Lawler, under a mask, wrestles Jeff Jarrett as a babyface and then cuts a promo like, I want to wish a happy birthday to Angie Vega. Ha-ha! That's the girl's name.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go with Life with Mikey because I cannot just vote for archival footage of The
I
Rock.
know.
So
And that Gem and the Holograms movie didn't have a goddamn thing to do with Gem and the Holograms. It was outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. I too went with Life with Mikey.
oh, good.
All right, let's just move. Do you like I'll just yes or no. Like it? I mean, it's got some charm.
Michael J. Fox is one of those guys that I love everything he does as well. I think my favorite, aside from my favorite movie of all time, which is BTTF. I mean, I love Greedy.
Hink a dinkadoo.
Greedy is so good. It's so underrated. It's such a good movie.
It's
So
might be the only one of two movies I know of that feature a professional bowler. The other being Kingpin, because Michael Fox is a professional bowler. I don't never talk to anyone else on this planet that's seen Greedy. That's so crazy.
I
It
think
was a Showtime regular on Showtime.
yeah. Oh, it's great. Kirk Douglas is great in that. Phil Hartman's often in that. I love when Phil Hartman just screams out, "He doesn't have the balls," and he just grabs his entire package. I love that. Such a great movie. Yeah, no, that's a great Michael J. Fox movie. Another great Michael J. Fox movie is The Frighteners.
I saw it in theaters.
I love that. So did I. That's a
Peter
great
Jackson.
movie. Yep.
I didn't know what Peter Jackson meant at the time, but
No, but
the director's cut's really good. I bought that on DVD the day it came out.
The director's cut.
Yeah.
Probably because you have to buy it on DVD. Maybe.
Well, this was back when DVDs were a thing.
Yeah,
I think we're up to the last match in the
Are we
end.
still? Do we pick
division.
everything the same in this bracket as well?
Abraxas, Princess Bride, and Life with Mikey. Yes. Yes, we did.
Synergy. Once again, synergy in the multiverse.
I know, right? If only Gem and the Holograms had synergy. I don't know if you ever caught Gem and the Holograms.
I did not see the movie Jen and the Holograms. I do
Well,
remember the
what about the
cartoon.
I was gonna say the cartoon. She
yeah,
had
I
the
remember that.
computer named Synergy.
Yeah.
I think Gem and the Holograms was on before Mask in my local area.
I think so. It might have been on after Mask, but it was either on or before. Yeah, it was with Mask.
And we will be ending the episode with the Mask theme song. The fucking great. I mean, it's a top 5 cartoon intro song.
It's such an 80s theme song.
Secret Raiders who will neutralize blades in the fucking size. All right. Final matchup in the N division. One of only a few WWE films to make the cut. And now I don't know if you've seen the Marine 6 Close Quarters, the one where, much like the Avengers, the Marine and the man who trained him, Shawn Michaels and The Miz, team up to face a terrorist cell led by Becky Lynch.
What?
Yeah, that's Becky behind The Miz.
Becky Lynch? Oh my God. Okay.
It's not really a terrorist cell. They just kidnapped this girl. And Shawn, I'll tell you what, Keith. I watched this as a potential show for Junkman on my personal feed. Shawn, like, I don't want to mock the man. It's out of his control. But this is a Hollywood film, technically. Get an eye patch. Nick Fury has an eye patch. Shawn, just get an eye patch.
This is a Hollywood film that stars Shawn Michaels.
Yes. And he just wears his own wardrobe. You could totally fucking tell. They're like, we need to get Shawn over in wardrobe. I don't know, Vince. I feel like I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good, Pops.
How the mighty Marine series has fallen. We went from John Cena to this.
The last time I checked, it was free on, let me check my streaming apps. Not Tubi. Is it Tubi? Tubi has a lot of good shit for free, surprisingly. And very commercial.
I heard it was free. If you go down the street to your local Dunkin' Donuts, it's just sitting there. They're giving it away, is what I heard.
And bonus, maybe Affleck will, be working the register.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, maybe.
I saw I remember what it was. You talked about Back to the Future, and I was going to ask if you saw The Flash.
I have not. My friend saw The Flash. My other friend saw The Flash. I kind of cheated, and I read the synopsis on Wikipedia.
Yeah, don't spoil anything on here, just in case.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. I'll see it when it comes on, like, HBO Max or whatever. Just because I'm not a huge. I don't really like Ezra Miller, and I should be.
No, it's okay. I know. It's. I know it's not out of
another person on my list of people I can do without. So
I will say this, and then we'll move on because I know it's not a DC Comics. I am the defender of the Snyder movies, and I've had problems with the others. I was never a big fan of Ezra's take on the Flash, but they pull off something that's pretty special in this film as a performance. As a person who does a lot of solo podcasting, Keithie, I really appreciated Ezra's ability to play off of themselves, and I'm serious. It had heart, 7.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, it had heart, right. And I
mean, I'd be psyched to see it just because, I mean, that's my Batman. So, I mean, I'd want to go support my Batman.
Ironically, when Michael Keaton finally showed up, I was like, I don't really need this now because you've crafted a narrative that's working for me.
There you go.
But, it is what it is. Okay, moving on. Marine 6 is taking on Mummy Returns, by the way, which was The Rock's Hakuta Masante! And then he runs, and that's it.
I thought he said Hakuna Matata.
No, that's Pocahontas.
But don't forget, we also have that awful
CGI scorpion.
Terrible CGI thing, yeah. So,
yeah, that thing's embarrassing. Okay. That is definitely one of my least favorite CGI monstrosities, to coin a phrase.
It's also it's also like I feel like a product of the time.
Yeah.
Because I think that if the CGI is the product of the time. I think if you had a better opportunity to have like modern day CGI that is good CGI, because as we know, the Marvel CGI sometimes isn't the best, but I think we could probably have done something good.
It also has Rachel Weisz and he's so hot right now, Brendan Fraser. Look at that fucking face. He's so hot then.
I have a very special place in my heart for all the mummies and
even stuff. The Dragon Emperor.
Yeah, it's also the stuff by the director. Because remember he did.
I'm blanking on who directed it.
It's hold on, I'm looking it up right now because I want to give him credit. Stephen Summers. And Stephen Summers did
G.I. Joe.
yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
he
I
did G.I.
love G.I.
Joe.
Joe, The
He
Rise
did
of
Van
Cobra.
Helsing, you know?
Ooh, you like Van Helsing. That's okay. I like G.I. Joe. You can like Van Helsing.
Yeah.
I unapologetically love the first G.I. Joe. I know it's awful. It's just the right kind of.
What's the one where the guy that's the president like turns on them?
That's both. The big reveal at the end is Arnold Vosloo's shapeship god Zartan has become Jonathan Pryce from Tomorrow Never Dies to bring it back to Bond. Oh, Mr. Bond, tomorrow's headlines today by Jonathan Pryce.
He also is in Game of Thrones. He's the
Yes, he's the evil priest.
well, he's not an evil priest. He's like he's an evil priest in the fact that, which is funny. Oh, can we pause like 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
My brother's
Just
calling me.
mute your
Yeah,
microphone.
okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Take off your headset so you don't have to listen to me. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, who are with me right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I have here on my wall, my little book stand of entertainment-based entertainment, a Christmas gift from when I was a youngster. We have the Ultimate Warrior, still in pretty decent shape, and I'll tell you what, it survived my young son playing with it when he was, a youngster. So it survived 2 members of the C family. Here I have an unopened copy of Ballistic X vs. Sever on DVD, which I'm saving for the 200th episode celebration of the new TNN, my personal podcast feed, where I'll be reviewing it.
Wow.
And since I already started this, I have an Atari ET. Are we good now?
I am. I apologize about that.
Oh, you're fine, man.
Yeah, I had an emergency phone call that came through that lasted a minute. Anyway, so
we don't get paid for this.
Huh?
So we don't get paid, so it's fine.
That's true. I am gonna go with The Mummy Returns. I am a big Stephen Summers fan. I like the G.I. Joe movies. I forget like it's funny, Arnold Vosloo he's in the Mummies.
And he's Darkman in the sequels that were made to video.
Yeah, so he must be a big Stephen Summers guy. Like, he must be Stephen Summers' muse, kind of like how De Niro and DiCaprio are now the muse, have always been and always will be the muse for Scorsese.
I love the idea of Arnold Vosloo like living on his Stephen Summers couch and being like, Stephen, I've had some inspiration. You must paint me, Stephen.
Oh boy, I'd paint him, sure.
But I went with the Marine.
Oh,
for
okay.
Shawn Michaels, Nick Fury, and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is vicious. She's stabbing people in that movie.
Does not look like Becky Lynch at all. Well, you know what it is? That's Becky when she had a little weight on her. My brother gets mad that like Becky like lost all of the weight that she had.
Yeah.
Like she had the baby and then like Vince was like, "Oh, listen, Becky, I need you to go to a size 0 if you can do that for me." Vince, I was never a size 0. Listen, that's not good shit, pal. We need you to be a 0.
I guess it's technically Rebecca Quinn is maybe as she's credited. I don't know, to be honest with you. So let's finish the and division. We only have one divergent. Abraxas versus Princess Bride. I think I know where you're going.
I am going with the only movie that matters.
Wait a minute. So hold on a second. If you really think about it, all right, if we do Abraxas versus the Princess Bride, that is Sven-Ole Thorsen versus fucking
Andre. Can we have a movie where Andre and Sven-Ole Thorsen is in with on? So how would that sound? Would it go?
I just want you to know, Andre, I have to store some steroids. I don't understand what steroids are. I am a giant in this forest.
Will you please help me? I am confused. I don't know who that is, but it's not either of those guys.
I will go with the Princess Bride.
All right, and Life with Mikey versus Mummy. Oh, Keithie, I am Arnold Vosloo, and you must paint me.
I'm gonna paint Arnold Vosloo in The Mummy Returns.
All right, so Mummy Returns versus the Princess Bride.
His death scene in that Mummy Returns is so sad when his girlfriend, who
Anak Monsoon.
Yeah, and she like turns her back on him and runs away, and then he looks over and he sees true love with Rachel Weisz and and the great Brendan Fraser, and he just realizes his life is over, so he drops into the pit of despair.
Yeah, reminds me of that other Stephen Sommers movie that really spoke to me when Duke goes to the grave of Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Baroness is like, it's raining, the Baroness is crying. That really got to me too. Or when Marlon Wayans is flying that plane and he's like, "Train."
I will tell you. Do you remember the G.I. Joe cartoon movie where they show the full transformation of Cobra Commander into a snake? Is it Duke? Is it Duke that he's running around with when Duke is blind?
No, it's
not Duke.
No, it's not Duke. Duke dies in that movie. It dies in a coma. Who is he with? Aaron would know. Aaron is a huge G.I. Joe fan. Are you going with Princess Bride over Mummy Returns?
Yeah.
All right, so we have the same two in the final four.
I don't want to, but I will.
That's fine. Well, Keithie, I'm going to have to cancel you as my muse. This is Arnold Vosloo again for some reason. All right. The next division, according to the CinemaSlam spectrometer, is the mostly quality division. Our first match.
This is a no-brainer for me.
Really? I think it's a no-brainer for me too, but probably the opposite direction. We've got They Live. John Carpenter. Keith. Is it Keith David or David Keith? I always get them mixed up.
That is Keith David.
Okay. Versus Rip 'Em, No Holds Barred. The first WWE film. I'm gonna give you the floor. I went with No Holds Barred.
I figured as much, and I'm sure you know where I'm going.
Yeah, you went They Live.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it makes sense, and I think that's cool because these movies are both they're very much, I feel like, in the same vein, and I'm not saying quality-wise, but they're both great. Let's just throw them on movies. They Live definitely has more quality, of course.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only that, it's got Meg Foster, who
Evelyn.
I loved her eyes. Like, she had the best friggin' eyes. Oh, they're just that like deep blue that just penetrate everything. And that Keith David's a fucking boss in this. I mean,
is he in Men at Work?
Yes. Yes. There's the other person in the world that has seen Men at Work.
Oh, I love Men at Work.
I mean, seriously, I love Men at Work. It's so great. Seriously, just getting to how many times do you remember the South Park episode where they spoof the fight between Timmy and is it Timmy and Jimmy, and it's the friggin' fight between Keith David and Roddy Piper, and they spoof it, and it's perfect. It's like scene by scene, like step by step. I love it. Yeah, no, They Live's fucking great. They Live is great.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They Live is an actual movie. No Holds Barred is not.
No.
All right, moving on because we've gone off script a lot, fans. We're gonna move on to the next matchup. Why don't you find some steroids? It's Sven-Ole Thorsen returns. And, oh my God, Keith, we haven't been talking about the rest. We haven't even been mentioning the wrestlers who are in these, have I? No, I have.
Yeah, you have.
Okay, great.
You mentioned The Rock. You mentioned.
Running Man, starring Jesse Ventura and Professor Tanaka as Plane Zero, taking on John Cena, making his first appearance, not his last. Spoiler alert! In the probably best Transformers movie, and I've actually seen them all as a recent viewer of Rise of the Beast, Bumblebee, starring Hawkeye, who I will say, because I think it's all right. Hey, how's it going, Hawkeye? But she's also she's great. She's great in Hawkeye.
Also, she's also Gwen Stacy, Spider.
Oh,
she does Spider-Gwen. Did you see Across the Spider-Verse?
9.9 repeating out of 10.
Oh my God, if not even 10 out of 10. It's so
No
good.
movie's 10 out of 10.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, see, in my opinion, there is one movie that's 10 out of 10. BTTF.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's okay. I have to go with my boy Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I have to go with The Running Man.
And Sven.
Not only that, and Sven, but not only that, I mean, The Running Man is just so good, and it's something that has been on TV a lot lately, like on cable a lot, and every time it's on, I watch it. It doesn't matter where it is, I watch it,
And since it is a wrestling show, in The Running Man, when Captain Freedom's workout, you got Jesse running on the screen being like, And he's got that Captain Freedom armor that he wears at the end for only one scene.
I'm not wearing this, dude. I was telling people like you back when you were still sucking on your mama's teat.
And Cena's fine in Bumblebee, but honestly, he's just playing like a vanilla babyface in movie terms. He doesn't get interesting as an actor until later.
No. Well, he's a heel in the first half of the movie.
Yeah, but it's bland, and you can tell the turn is coming.
No, it's very bland. It's very.
Did you see Rise of the Beasts?
I have not yet. Is he in that?
No, he probably should have been, because it's lacking in like star power. But I will say it has the best human leads, probably aside from Haley Steinfeld of all the Transformers movies. It has a pretty big end stinger scene.
Okay.
That I won't spoil for people.
No, yeah, don't spoil it, because I actually want to see that. Especially considering it was a sequel to Bumblebee.
I will say this, in all
really
seriousness.
Excited about that.
I rewatched The Last Night.
Mhm.
Because I just watched it over like the course of a week. It's one of the like worst movies in the history of fucking ever. I did enjoy Rise of the Beast. Like I had kind of low expectations, but it was the only problem is they still stick to the Bay formula.
Yeah.
It's better. It's made better, but I don't know. But
I like how you said The Last Night, but you were talking about how the new one has the best human cast.
Oh, you're right, though. Yes. Okay.
The Last Night is freaking Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins in The Last Night is an all-time awesome performance, and here's why.
I know, but it's so funny because it is. Like,
I know.
He's
so
like bad.
Fucking Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins is having the time of his life because he keeps thinking about the new wing he's getting put on his house from the money. Yeah, he's great in that. I mean, he's awful, but that's what makes him great. Speaking of. We'll see him again later. Next matchup.
Oh. Okay.
Thunder Lips, Rocky 3, taking on Peacemaker. What a joke, as Colonel Rick Flag would say, in The Suicide Squad. The sequel to Suicide Squad. And prequel to the Peacemaker TV show, that's all.
Okay. I'm actually going to maybe surprise you here. I'm going to go with the Suicide Squad.
Nice.
I think the Suicide Squad is an excellent movie.
I do too. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Excellent. I think all the characters in it are excellent. Cena's actually probably the weakest character in the movie, but he's got some pretty funny shit in it. And then Peacemaker is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, it's interesting because his performance is a little one-dimensional in the Suicide Squad, but I think James Gunn and Cena were smart enough to talk together, I guess, and be like, you need to be one-dimensional here, and you'll be three-dimensional in the show. And like, this is not me trying to be funny. Like, I would have nominated Cena for an Emmy for the TV show. I too, to the surprise of probably no one, went with the Suicide Squad. I thought Cena and Idris Elba and Joel Kinnaman all looked like they were having the time of their life because they got some good chemistry together.
Yeah. Also, I like the girl that's
Ratcatcher 2.
Ratcatcher 2. I love her in that. I think she's great.
I was so disappointed in her because she showed up in Fast X, and then I was disappointed in myself for watching Fast X. But it has an all-time awesome, over-the-top Jason Momoa performance. I'm a big Momoa fan.
I think I may have told you this, maybe not, but I have never seen any movies. I did see the first one because I was forced to see the first one, and I was very upset by it, and I complained the entire time. So,
the mostly quality division continues. I think this officially makes this next wrestler / actor, and not the other way around, the man or woman who appears the most in the tournament. According to CinemaSlam stats, we've got 1997's Batman and Robin, again featuring Jesse the Body Ventura. He's outside the freeze zone, taking on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Not the Secret of the Ooze, though. Out of the Shadows, where Sheamus is Rocksteady, I think.
Also, in Batman and Robin is Jeep Swenson.
The ultimate solution as Bane. And I think he injected himself with the ultimate solution and promptly died.
Aw, come on. Aw, too soon.
another movie that's been in the cultural zeitgeist conversation recently for reasons, Batman and Robin. I famously did a 6-hour podcast on Batman and Robin for the new TNN.
Yeah.
Making fun of it.
Yeah. You sure did.
It aged me. Look, I'm going gray.
It aged you. It should have aged you.
But damn it, I had a good time with it. I kind of like the first. I'm going to call it Michael Bay, even though he only produced it. Michael Bay Ninja Turtles reboot. I like the dude that plays Raphael, who's also in Fast X.
Oh, is it? Who is it?
Alan Ritchson. He was Hawk on Titans, and he's also Jack Reacher, the TV show.
Okay.
Sheamus is pretty funny, but the movie's garbage. Stephen Amell, the professional wrestler, is also in TMNT 2 Out of the Shadows.
Sheamus plays Rocksteady, right?
That's the Rhino, right? He's the Rhino, yes.
And I believe Cena's voicing.
That's right.
I want to say he's voicing Rocksteady in the new.
Yeah, I think Bebop
is a one.
I think Bebop is a black man, so I don't think.
Bebop.
Should be
I know.
Cena.
Bebop is. Oh yeah, Bebop was a black man and like
he is
real life before he got
he got
transformed. In this case, I think I'm going to go just because it's fucking Schwarzenegger. I gotta go with Batman and Robin.
Nice. I too went with Batman and Robin.
It's Schwarzenegger.
All right, so rounding out.
I'm getting dark. Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
Oh.
So
Let's
wait,
see, hold on.
That's
the last one in the mostly quality division.
That's funny when you say mostly quality and you put Batman in there.
Well, but it's also got the Suicide Squad. It's got I guess it doesn't have a lot. Well, They Live and No Holds Barred to me are quality, like quality for the tournament purposes. I'm not talking. They're not Citizen Kane, but I thought they were good.
Right.
They were good tournament movies. There were movies that I could have seen going further if they were not matched up together, much like Princess Bride and Predator.
Sure. Okay.
So let's round out this. You've got They Live taking on Sven-Ole Thorsen.
And the Running Man?
Yep.
The Running Man.
So I love that you've got two new characters out of this show, Sven-Ole Thorsen and Arnold Vosloo. The Suicide Squad. Battle of DC Comics. For both of us. I took No Holds Barred, by the way, over Running Man, though.
Mm-hmm.
The Suicide Squad taking on Batman and Robin for both of us. I went with The Suicide Squad.
As would I. The Suicide Squad I would as well. Oh shit.
And then Suicide No Holds Barred for me. I went with No Holds Barred getting to the Final Four.
Give me a minute.
Sure.
Because I love both of those movies. I'll go with the Suicide Squad.
Woo!
Over the Running Man.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
That's good, but it is good. I'm
more
more
of talk about it too much.
That's fine. That's
go
fine.
ahead. No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I a lot of times lean towards older stuff, even if I like something new, which is if I would have been in the same, I may have gone Running Man, but I don't. It's fine. It's fun. We're just having fun.
I know it is, and that's the thing is that it's one of those movies that, while it's still recent, because I mean, what did it come out in 2018? I mean, it was still
21. It went straight to streaming because of COVID.
Oh, it was 21? I mean, so there you go. I mean, it's that good, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's that good of a movie that it would hold up against probably it's the best. I mean, it's probably the best DC. No, it's not the best DC movie. I don't want to go that far. But all right. So yeah. I
like Kinnaman Flag a lot too. All right, so the final division. We're calling it the How Did They All End Up Here division.
Okay.
First round.
Oh my God, the movie that you have going against Roadhouse is so fucking awesome.
I know this is his other Sophie's choice.
I love the Golden Child.
I say, want the knife.
Want knife.
I'm watching it tonight.
Oh, God.
That was a big HBO movie for the random time my parents had HBO. I watched Roadhouse for the first time in 2023.
I watched Roadhouse, not 2023, but it was like probably 2019, 2018. I had never seen it.
Fucking amazing.
Oh, it's amazing.
Look at this. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I mean, PowerPoint did most of the work, but I like the artistic vision behind this match graphic. If you're watching,
sure.
That knife is sweet. Did you see a little naked guy running around with the $100 bill?
Let that booger's freeze on your jacket. I'm gonna scratch you.
Another great villain Charles Dance performance.
Yeah, Charles Dance is in this. Yep.
My sweet Fabulousness.
So who's the wrestler? Is it another Torch?
Oh, yes. So of course Roadhouse famously has Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. Yeah.
So Golden Child has a gentleman named Kim Duke, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing the gentleman's name wrong. He has passed away, but apparently, right as he was filming The Golden Child, he was performing as an independent contractor for Vince McMahon Jr.'s World Wrestling Federation as a character named Tiger Chung Lee.
Okay, so it's Tiger Chung Lee.
Now, I've never seen Tiger Chung Lee, so it's real?
Oh yeah, Tiger Chung Lee. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He was kind of a jobber to the stars.
Like TL Hopper. Dude.
Yeah, like even like how Tito became kind of later on in his career and stuff. There's Pete loves talking about there's like this one match where it's like Tiger Chung Lee versus Hogan, and like I think it's like 84 or something like that.
Was it on TV?
I think it was. I think it might have been on like either Superstars or like All American or something like that. Yeah, you could check it out. I think if you YouTube it, I think you can see it. Whew, God. Okay. This tournament would have been so different if the premise was we had to pick the better of the two performances by the wrestlers in the movie.
Sure.
Because Terry Funk's performance in Roadhouse far surpasses Tiger Chung Lee's.
Yeah.
But the Golden Child is just so freaking good. I gotta go with the Golden Child.
God damn. I'm kind of regretting.
Did you pick Roadhouse?
Dude, I did pick Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But I was so like Roadhouse is the perfect cheese. Oh my God. I mean, it's a movie about a dude's like a bouncer and like people know him, and like Sam Elliott's awesome in it, and Kelly Lynch is awesome in it, and the villain is way too ruthless for the premise.
Sam Elliott is the shit in that movie. Like Sam Elliott makes you fall in love with Sam Elliott, the person watching that movie.
And Kelly Lynch.
And Kelly Lynch, yeah, Kelly Lynch and her granny panties that she's wearing, like during sex scenes and stuff.
It was a symptom of the time.
I know, no, it's a total '80s movie, and it's great. It's very worth it.
That's the thing. It's more 80s. Golden Child is 80s because of like the devil special effects and Eddie Murphy in his prime, but Roadhouse is like a slice of like I don't want to call it Americana, but it's a slice of culture.
It's a slice of 80-kana.
80-kana. 80-kana. Like if you were teaching a class,
you would show Roadhouse.
Roadhouse is on the list of 80s.
We would put Roadhouse on there.
Yeah, because Goonies. I think it quintessentially defines pop cinema.
Yes.
I went with Roadhouse. All right. Next one. Who wants to live forever? This one was super easy for me, but according to the CinemaSlam stats, it is Highlander. Hey, it's me, Christopher Lambert. I'm back with my good friend Ramirez and my friends Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Samu, Greg Gagne, Jim Brunzell, and Rikishi, who all appear in the opening scene when they're in Madison Square Garden or the New York Arena, because we're not paying for Madison Square Garden. Highlander 1 taking on the Grimsters, dude. Hulk Hogan's cameo appearance, of course, gets on the list. But, Keith, one of the greatest films in cinema history, Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
I mean, if anything, I'm going with Gremlins 2, The New Batch, because it is so good. It's so funny. The other thing I love about it is Hogan's friggin' appearance and cameo is so awesome because let's put our kayfabe hat on.
Sure.
He's the champion. He's out watching. He wanted to decide to go to the movies on Saturday night. He's wearing his Hulk Hogan ring attire, and he's wearing the championship belt. And the idea of Hogan sitting in the movie in the theater watching a movie, which wasn't it like what was the movie? Wasn't it like Snow White? It was like it might not have been.
No, that's
Snow
the
White.
first one. No, they're watching Gremlins 2, I think.
Are they? Maybe.
Yeah, because the mom's complaining in the lobby. She's like, "This is worse than the original."
Oh yeah. And then Hogan's just like upset and he gets up with his popcorn and everything. Yeah, no, it's Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Second movie on the list featuring John Glover, who plays the Floronic Man in Batman and Robin, as an iconic performance as Daniel Clamp. Like if we were doing an awesome movie characters Avengers movie, Daniel Clamp would walk out of my portal.
What?
All right, Daniel Clamp is life.
Mm-hmm.
If someone knows where I can buy a T-shirt with the Clamp logo with the C that's grasping,
yeah,
I would so wear that.
You could
like
probably
get it on a little polo shirt. I'd wear it to work.
All right, I think I'm gonna get you a Christmas gift this year, and I think I know what it is.
But Gremlins 2 was a landslide, but much love to Highlander. Like Highlander 1's a fun movie, but yeah, it didn't stand a chance. All right, let's move on. Another movie that didn't stand a chance. The WCW film Ready to Rumble, which does feature Oliver Platt as Jimmy King.
That's right.
That's my Butterfinger, baby. I think you're sexy, Mean Gene. I do. But it's taking on Brian Bosworth's Stone Cold. Have you seen Stone Cold?
Oh no, I've seen Stone Cold.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So
I'm a fan of awful movies.
You got to clean up in aisle 5. So this features perhaps WWF's biggest what if and Bret Hart's greatest opponent, Tom McGee.
Me and Tommy McGee, yeah.
Tom McGee showed up in the New York territories, and I put him over for Vince, and I said, Vince, obviously you should pay me more money because I'm Bret Hart.
I know that Tom McGee was in Stone Cold, and I feel like that's the last time I'm ever going to say the name Stone Cold.
My brother Oj could have been
My brother Oj could have been Stone Cold.
What about the dad? Look, I like Ready to Rumble. I love Jimmy King, but Stone Cold, I don't give a fuck that Tom McGee in it. Riff Tracks introduced me to Stone Cold. I own it both with the Riff Tracks and without. It's that good.
I will go with Ready to Rumble because I love Oliver Platt.
Fair enough, and that's fine.
Oliver Platt is one of the people on my list of movies I will always watch if he's in it. So
Arnold, Vosloo, Sven-Ole Thorsen, and
Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt are coming out of your portal.
Absolutely. Out of my portal.
Stone Cold rules because I got really happy one night and I watched Stone Cold while playing Tecmo Super Bowl on my PSP Go as the Seahawks, and I only was allowed to play as Bosworth.
That's the Inception sound. It's like you had Inception going.
Yes.
You had Bosworth on TV, Bosworth on the video game, and you were wearing, I don't know if you know this, but you are also wearing Brian Bosworth underwear.
Given to me by an undisclosed third party. All right, so the final first round matchup. All right, this is the last whatever stat. The joke wasn't funny anyway. Our second appearance of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, but it's a different one, The Secret of the Ooze. Starring, hey, hold on. I know you're the director of Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, but this is Kevin Nash, the Super Shredder. Let me just...
Listen. I know I haven't done a damn thing yet in professional wrestling, but I think I know everything already. I don't know why, but Bill Goldberg thinks that he's a mark for himself, man.
Santa Slay?
Shredder I was in fucking Ninja Turtles 2, man.
It's taking on WWE Studios Countdown, which I will say that's the one where Dolph Ziggler plays a Maverick cop. Again, it was free on Tubi, and look, Dolph Ziggler is cosplaying as an 80s. This movie is cosplaying as an 80s movie, and I give it credit for that. It's bad, but it knows it. And this is the one where famously Dolph Ziggler tries to defuse a bomb at a WWE event that transitions between a house show and the Royal Rumble and gets held at gunpoint by Rusev.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. I will go with The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, I went with The Secret of the Ooze as well. It's got that awesome I'm eating pizza montage. At the
beginning. Also, it has Choka! Rita!
Dude, It's time for a Toka and Razor revival. Bebop and
Sure.
Rocksteady are getting a little too much love these days. Bring back the Tokester in the roster.
In the actual suits that they wore in Secret of the Ooze, not CGI'd. I want
right.
practical effects. Yes.
Daniel Clamp walking out of the portal with Toka and Razor, like, whoa, I got these guys here. These guys are really something. Let's get you a show.
Well, Secret of the Ooze is great too, because that's when they find the train station, the abandoned train station.
I was a little
there, right?
I was a little yes, it is. I was a little disappointed because when I was a youngster, the trailer for Ninja Turtles 2 shows them hanging out with Sir David Warner. May he rest in peace, as the guy that plays the Doctor. But they have him. They're like, talk to him. And he's wearing a lab coat, and I was like, it's Baxter Stockman, mom. Baxter Stockman.
That would have been yeah. He would have actually. That would have been awesome if he was Baxter Stockman. Jeez, I wonder why they didn't have him be. Because it's kind of like how in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 you had him still talking to Kirk Connors.
Yeah, the lizard, Dylan
but
Baker.
He never turns into the. I mean, I imagine he would have been eventually if it was Spider-Man 4, but because he's got no arm in all 3 of the movies that he's in. You know,
that's something else. We've never got a lizard in the lab coat. It's not hard.
No, because even in the Amazing Spider-Man,
he rips it off.
Soon as he transforms into the lizard, he goes totally nude.
Yeah, he just looks like a baby Godzilla from Matthew Broderick's Godzilla.
Let me ask you this question. Maybe you can explain this to me.
Sure.
Why is it that why is the only superhero movie where we see Dong is Watchmen? Like all these characters that run around with no clothes on, I want to see Dong. I want to see more superhero Dong.
Well,
and supervillain Dong.
I mean, the MPAA regards the penis as an aggressive sexual organ.
It sure is.
And I think it's because it dangles.
Yeah. And man, did it dangle and watch.
But boobs do too.
Boobs do. Boobs bounce. I think there's a difference between bouncing and dangling.
No, you're right. Science. I don't want to be a science denier here.
Man, do you remember though in Watchmen how much friggin' Billy Crudup's CGI Dong was?
You want Watchmen in its original color, or you want it in black and white? I actually prefer it in black and white.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time with the colors.
Sure.
I'm not wearing my glasses. But yeah, I mean, I like Watchmen. I actually really enjoy the sequel Doomsday Clock.
You're the only one.
Are you serious?
Did anybody really like to? No, I think the problem with I was actually having a conversation with somebody about Doomsday Clock the other day, and I think it was because I think they had high hopes that it was going to be. What was it going to be put out once a month, or was it going to be?
It took 2 years.
But was it supposed to be once a month, or was it supposed to be every week?
It was supposed to be like once a month, or maybe once every 2 months if something happened. It was not a week. No.
No. Okay, but it ended up being It was a 12 series. It was a 12-issue series, and it took them 2 years to put it out. And I think it just killed the hype for it. I feel like,
like I don't know Jeff Johns the person. I'm not trying to defend them as a I don't know, and I'm not getting involved. I will say this: Jeff Johns is a pretty good writer. I think he's a great idea man.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of the time, like Lantern, he kind of rewrote. He didn't rewrite Aquaman's origin, but he deepened it, gave it the 7 Kingdoms, my Aquaman omnibus.
Yep.
I just,
as you're flashing your Aquaman tattoo.
Well, I just, he's it's not so much. It is an Aquaman reference, but it's also a representation of finding oneself. Because Aquaman is one of my favorite heroes because he really has no home. He doesn't feel at home on land. He doesn't feel at home on the sea. He is a constant state of neutrality, which is a euphemism for life.
Oh, look at you.
Or a lonely position of neutral.
Deep
headstrong to take you on.
No, deep thought.
That's Trap, not Trust Company. Yeah. So that wraps it up. You have Golden Child versus Gremlins 2. Wow, good luck. I'm gonna also close the CinemaSlam stats. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so we can wrap this up together.
I will go with the Golden Child.
The Golden Child. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yep.
Wait a minute. No, it's against Gremlins 2.
I know. I gotta go with my heart.
Real quick, we're not sharing. I don't want anybody to see my background. You don't see my screen anymore, do you?
I do not.
It's a picture of my bouncing dong, not my dangling. So
You have a bouncing dunk. Good.
I had Roadhouse Gremlins 2. I went Gremlins 2.
Okay.
You have Ready to Rumble, Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, Secret of the Ooze.
Okay, Secret of the Ooze. I have Stone Cold, Secret of the Ooze. I went Stone Cold.
Okay.
Stone Cold! Stone Cold! So your final entry to the Final Four will be decided when the Secret of the Ooze battles the Golden Child.
I will go with the Golden Child.
Wow. Well, you know what, though? I went with Gremlins 2, obviously. And I think that's awesome because we're both very passionate about the representative of this division.
Absolutely.
So, here we go. The final four. I'll read mine, then yours. It's funny because we have the exact same on the first side. Last Action Hero taking on the Princess Bride. And on yours, you have the Suicide Squad taking on the Golden Child. Both movies that start with the. And I have No Holds Barred taking on Gremlins 2, The New Batch. So, traditionally, when we do these things, I've already done mine. I just breeze through mine. You want me to do that? That way you can...
Well, let's go back and forth. I'm going to go with the other side, though, first. I want to leave that final battle. Princess Bride and Last Action Hero, that's prime time, baby. That's a prime time basketball game. I am going to go with... So I have what? It's Golden Child and...
The Suicide Squad.
I'm going to say the Suicide Squad.
Okay. It's yours. You're allowed. You're allowed. And that's fine. No, I get it. The Suicide Squad is really good. We were so passionate about the Golden Child is I guess my only disappointment.
I know, but I like I said, there's just something about the Suicide Squad that sticks into my head as just being a superior movie overall. You know?
Yeah.
I love the Golden Child, but it's yeah, you could be sad about that. I know, Johnny.
Technology, man. Thank God we can have.
What was your other side?
This side?
Well, yeah, not the main event. What's the other?
No Holds Barred versus Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
I took my passion. Mr. Daniel Clamp is in the finals. Gremlins 2.
And that's why you are a phenomenal podcaster.
I mean, look, they're both Hogan, which I was appreciative that represent. Look, it's a fucking no-brainer. Gremlins 2 is one of my favorite.
Gremlins 2 is great.
I put it's not as good. I also like the Matrix Resurrections, which I would not spoil because you haven't seen it. The fourth one, the one that nobody saw and nobody likes.
I did see that, actually. I did see it. I watched it on a plane.
Gremlins 2 and Matrix 4 are top all-time. I'm going to take your money and do whatever I want.
Good.
And
did
to
Joe
me...
Dante direct Gremlins 2?
Sure did.
He did? Okay, good.
I obviously had a blast doing it.
Yeah, no, that was his total, like, I'm just going to, like you said, I'm going to take your money and just do whatever I want.
Yeah, that was his thing. He's like, if you let me do whatever, I can do whatever I want. And they were like, please, God, here's the money.
Yeah.
And so the main event, according to you, good sir, we have the exact same Last Action Hero taking on the Princess Bride.
Honestly, it's Princess Bride.
Okay.
Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies. I think I've even put it on like certain Mount Rushmores that I've done in the past.
Nice.
Because I think it's just it's an amazing, amazing movie. Timeless. I feel like you could play that at any point in any child's life and it holds up because it's first of all, it's like a dated movie anyway, because it's a period piece, but the effects look good. The practical effects are amazing. The acting is incredible.
We haven't even talked about Cary Elwes.
No, and he's phenomenal in it. And thankfully, he still loves to tell the tale of Andre's fart and how, you're right, Andre?
I am now, boss.
It's just amazing. So, yeah, I will say Princess Bride over Last Action Hero.
And I like this because we're divergent. I took Last Action Hero.
Oh, wow. Kick me in the groin.
But no, they're both represented, though. My passion project, Gremlins 2. You dumped the Golden Child. I kept Gremlins 2.
I know, yeah.
But I
picked the Running Man.
I know. But Last Action Hero, I never want to get a couple of acres. So
yeah.
I went with Last Action Hero. I'm a big fan. So I'm also, we have different finals.
Yeah.
You've got The Princess versus the Suicide. It sounds like a Disney movie that got canceled. And I've got Last Action Hero and Gremlins 2.
Okay.
Both here feature the article. You want to go first or second? You want a snake? I haven't done snake, so there it is.
I'll go first because I think it's always good to hear what you have in your rationale at the end. I am gonna have to go. I'm going with my heart, and I'm going with The Princess Bride.
I already
Andre
marked
the
the Giant
Giant.
as such.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin, Carrie Elways. It's just Robin Wright. I mean, William Wallace, William Shaw,
Wallace Shaw.
Wallace Shawn, William Wallace. I mean, just everybody. Oh God, what's his name that plays Humperdinck? Christopher Guest is the Six-Fingered Man, but the guy that plays Humperdinck he's in the original Fright Night.
Not seen Fright Night.
You've never seen? Oh my God, Johnny, you need to watch the original Fright Night.
Is that a vampire movie?
It is, and it's so good.
He kind of looks like Ray Wise from RoboCop and Twin Peaks.
Yeah, he's in. You know who is in it too is Roddy McDowall is in it, and it's like Roddy McDowall, like it's so
Fright
good.
Night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like Billy Crystal's in it too.
Chris Sarandon, who I believe was married to Susan Sarandon at one point.
Nah, they got to be brother sister. They have the same wrinkled face.
Ah, boo. Yeah, Chris Sarandon, thankfully, still with us. You know, he does the voice. He does a voice in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon that was on Nickelodeon.
Who is he? Like a known character?
He was Count Dracula. I don't know if you remember those.
He kind of looks like a Count Dracula.
That's the whole point. That's what's funny about it is that he shows up in Fright. He's actually in the reboot of Fright Night as well. That had Colin Farrell and Anton Yelchin in it, but he's not. You know, but no, I mean that's God. The original Fright Night's so good. You should absolutely watch that. So
I will add it to the list.
Watch the reboot. I actually love the reboot. There's a sequel to Fright Night. And I didn't like that one as much, but I actually like the reboot with Colin Farrell. It's pretty good. So
I've never seen.
I'm a sucker for like vampire movies. I like vampire movies.
So speaking of vampire movies, I don't think I can watch Fright Night until I watch for the first time a movie I've never seen, The Lost Boys.
Oh God, you make me want to do a friggin' watch along with you for The Lost Boys. It's so good.
Well, I'm watching The Golden Child tonight. That's already a fact. Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Because, but I wanted to put a bow on the finals. Yours and mine are very different from another thing. Since this is the Wrestling Network, and wrestling was a catalyst this time, guys. I hope you had fun. Yeah. But a good wrestler performance in both of yours. Yeah. Mine are kind of like. Wait, like you didn't even know who the wrestler was in Last Action Hero. I didn't. I mean, I knew it was Sub-Zero. I had to look up his character, Professor Tanaka. I forgot. He's also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep.
Which is a movie we've talked about. And Gremlins 2 has 2 seconds of Hulk Hogan, so it's weird. Yours both have wrestlers in prominent roles, and mine are just
Is Toru Tanaka also in a Bond movie?
He's not Odd Job.
He's not Odd Job,
which I know is an older gentleman, a gentleman who was.
Yes, Odd Job was in the
That's Goldfinger.
That's in the that's Goldfinger.
Come on, Keith, you must be dreaming.
I know. Yeah.
I
mean, he freaking looks exactly like the guy. No, and I'm not saying anything because.
No, I know. No, they have similar, build. It's the goatees too.
Yeah.
They both have the goatee and the build. So I
Goldfinger. We said Goldeneye. Goldfinger.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
Last Action Hero and Gremlins 2 also sort of have like a spiritual spine together. Like they have similar ideas about. I don't want to use the word meta fiction, but they're both a little meta. They both break that fourth wall. They're both, but in the end, I went with the new home of the Multiverse of Fabulous podcast, the Clamp Cable Network. Gremlins 2. I mean, was there a doubt?
Not since you were talking about that, no. The way you've been talking about it, absolutely.
Well, what broke me was Roadhouse, The Golden Child, and Gremlins 2 were all 3 in a row. And I was like, either one of those were my pre-picked winners, like potential winners.
Yeah.
So Gremlins 2 and The Princess Bride, the 2 movies featuring wrestlers from the multiverse that you and I would both be okay with watching on a random summer day when there's air conditioning needed. The premise of this show, a friendly convo for a friendly friend.
Mm-hmm.
Keithie, would you tell us about A La Carte with Keithie Langston, please?
Oh yes, A La Carte with Keithie. So it's the new show that's on the North-South Connection. It is as it was described to me, it is a personality podcast, because what I like to do is it's actually not even wrestling based, which is fun. So not really wrestling based, but
there's wrestling adjacentness.
It's wrestling adjacentness, yes. There's a lot of wrestling references made in the show, but it's multi-segmented. I try to do a multi-segmented where I have a guest host every week who and we play a few games, and we just had episode 4 had just recently launched with my longtime childhood best friend since we were in preschool together, LA Chris. And we talked about Legos for about 45 minutes, and then we talked about some successful and unsuccessful spinoffs, very much reminiscent of a Multiverse of Fabulousness, I feel like, where we talked about where we did the TV shows. But this one I went with some other interesting characters that we did. And the next episode is actually dropping on Friday the 30th. So it would have already dropped
June
by
or
the time
July. Yeah,
of June. So it would have already dropped by the time this show is aired. And that one actually has my other friend Chris, who I grew up with. And on that episode, we talked about making an all-star fantasy baseball lineup of all time. We talked about Chris's extensive history with going to concerts and seeing bands live. And then I think, which is so far probably one of the best segments we've done, is I call it Rotten Rewrite. And it's where we take a movie that is certified rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and we try to rewrite it to make it more palatable for the audience. And we picked a doozy. We picked Howard the Duck, the 1985, 86 cinematic masterpiece.
I like that movie. It was an HBO movie again.
Yeah, no, but believe it or not, it's one that on a recent rewatch for me, the one question that kept going through my mind is, why do people not like this movie? It's great. I mean, there's some things that you could do to improve, but not a lot. I mean, the movie itself is a pretty solid movie, you know?
My mind was blown when I was a kid. My mom had this tape that she taped off of PBS. It was a live performance of Into the Woods. I don't know if you're familiar with Into the Woods. The Disney made a movie of it. Well, the James Corden role, who is a guy I hate, he's not coming out of my portal. The portal's closed. He's going to be like, hello, I was trying to come through the portal with Daniel Clamp. Anyway,
karaoke.
This Broadway musical actor who played as the baker in Into the Woods, my mom's watching it, and I'm playing with fucking cars crashing together, whatever. And he starts singing, and I'm like, Mom, are you watching Howard the Duck? And it's the guy. It's his name's Chip something.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
It starts with a Z.
Yeah. Chip. Oh God.
Zine.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Anywho,
talked about him. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a throwaway role. I do like him more than Seth Green though, as a Howard the Duck.
Chip Zine, yeah. No, I do. It was, and yeah, no, I mean, the movie itself is great. So I hope you get a chance to listen to it, because
I will. I need to listen to episode 4 first. Mm-hmm. I got a little behind. But after I listen to 4, I'll listen to 5. I know it's not sequential. They can be listened to out of order.
Yes. Yeah, no, there's nothing that's like it. Yeah, you don't have to listen to them as.
Also, as much as I appreciate when Leah Thompson goes to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, I'm appreciating that large volume of hair she has in Howard the Duck.
Leah Thompson is honestly a dime piece in that movie. I mean, it is unbelievable.
A good role too. But here's the thing. I've read a lot of Howard. I will admit that.
Sure.
Proud owner of multiple omnibuses of Howard. Beverly is a little smarter in the movie than she is in the comic, but Beverly is supposed to be like, the gag is that Beverly's like a bombshell. So I'm not trying to like objectify Leah Thompson. What I'm saying is she plays Beverly Switzer perfectly.
Sure. No, we're not objectifying. I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, especially considering the the era that it was in. I mean, they literally pick her out to be a bombshell, and then on top of that, she has a almost full sexual scene with a duck. So I mean,
and that's acting. That's like acting.
Acting.
Exactly. And
The
I
old
think
John Lovitz.
I think duck sex is a good place to end it with the mask song now. And also make sure that you check out everything here on North South Connection Podcast Network. I caught up on Wrestling Warzone, and the story about Chad losing his keys gave me a heart attack. I'm glad he found them. He's always got good shit. My favorite's when he took the picture of the pizza. I fucking laughed for like an hour. I don't know why. Chad, like things happening to Chad, I'm not laughing at another person's misfortune, but the story's so interesting. His pacing and it's just every man's stories, but they're always entertaining. But before the mask theme song ends, Keithie, you talked about a la carte, just a cheap plug for my personal podcast feed, the new TNN. Check out the Chronoso Daily Project. We talked about the main event, which is the greatest pro wrestling televised, camera filmed event of all time without qualifiers. And I mean, seriously, 3 matches, all for titles in the biggest storyline of the 80s.
Absolutely.
Which was not the biggest boom period. But we're running out of mask theme song. He's Keithie Langston. I'm Jonnie C. And a winner is you.
There is you.